How do I deal with self doubt as a coach and a business owner? To be honest, that's a thing of my day to day life. You always get doubt in pretty much everything one does. And I'm sure you can relate to that because if you're watching this video, you're probably dealing with your self doubt as well when you're trying to do things. And I think a lot of self doubt comes from insecurities that we accumulated from teenage years. We start thinking, oh, what do people around us think if we do this? But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You shouldn't really think that way. And for me personally, the way I see it, that I don't really care what people around me think because they're very unlikely to pay for my services. So, what I'm doing to attract people to my personal training studio, I mean, the opinion of people who are not doing these things shouldn't really matter. So, in that case, if I want to get more clients, I'm looking into what people who are within this industry doing and what works for them, not necessarily what people around me think. And that's, I think, where a lot of self doubt really comes in because we really get ourselves into thinking like, oh, what my brother will think, what my friend will think, what my um, husband will think, because I can guarantee you that my partner haven't really watched any of these videos. So why should I care what I'm saying about the camera if at the end of the day she's like not even watching those videos? And if she'll watch the videos, I'll get my ass kicked after this one. But you get the idea. So I think part of self doubt, it's actually coming from the insecurities that we have that we accumulated over the teenage years because I don't know, like in school, the bullying it gets like it becomes a normal thing. At least it was for me, and the way it used to work in my school, I think it was the best bullying ever. So if you do something stupid, you will be like bullied or taking the piss from for a certain period of time until someone else does something stupid, and that's like you build up insecurities. You from these experiences you get quite scared about of taking action of things that people around you are not doing, and you're thinking what they will think. But again, like I said, they are not in the same world as you are if you're trying to better yourself, so kind of trying to take a next step and become like a business owner in my case, or like a personal trainer a few years ago. So, yeah, I think that's where most of the self doubt really comes from. And when you have self doubt, a lot of things come into your mind. You start questioning yourself, is it even worth doing the thing that you're pursuing? So, for example, again, with my career as a personal trainer, 6 weeks from me starting personal training career, COVID hit and we got lockdowns. So naturally you think, oh shit, what's the consequences like of my job? I'm not good enough to get into social media marketing. I just started as a personal trainer. I shouldn't do that. While on the other hand, my colleague didn't think twice. He just started posting online workouts, educating people, and he succeeded. So, you look at people around you, what they're doing, and you somehow think that they're better than you. But every single person that you see speaking on camera or successful has million subscribers. At this point, I have 13 subscribers. You may start questioning what's the point of filming those videos. But keep in mind, everyone who you see now successful, they've been going through the periods where no one cared what they're doing, and they had exactly the same self doubts that me or you have. So what I'm trying to say is that my colleague didn't think twice. He started creating content. I started thinking that I'm not worthy enough to create content. But imagine if I would have done what I do now since 2021, I'm sure I would have maybe 113 subscribers rather than 13. So keep those things in mind. And at the end of the day, look, if there's only 13 people that are watching these videos, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because no one's watching, no one cares. So no one will even see that period of time that you're not good at what you're doing. People will only start noticing and criticizing you when you will get a certain level of traction. And for me, like, I mean, I'm on my own. No one's telling me anything that, oh, what that shit that you posted is not good enough, or I disagree with that. No one's really doing that. So it's mostly in your mind. All that self doubt is really in your mind. And you can overcome that by constantly taking some small actions. And I will get to that in a second. There was two strategies that worked really well for me to overcome some of the self-doubt that I have and become a little bit more confident in speaking to camera and also speaking with potential clients and trying to make some sales to make sure that my business is successful. So one of these things that helped me to overcome self-doubt was journaling. So I was writing down, and I still do, basically, if we talk about clients, so any phone consultation that I would have, I would write notes from that consultation. And following that consultation, I would give myself feedback because I would have like a sales script next to me, which I should have followed, but it doesn't always work in ideal life like that. But you follow the sales script to basically understand what people are expecting from your service and whether you can provide that. And I was making notes as I was going through the conversation. And then after I finished the conversation with the prospect or potential client, I would always give myself feedback. What could I've done better? So you don't only think that, oh, I did a very shit job at this conversation. You start thinking about the next time you have the conversation with the customer, or next time you're creating a video, you give yourself a little bit of feedback and you write down what you could have done better. And by making those small steps, next time you're having that conversation, you're like, oh shit, I was kind of speaking about this and I know I shouldn't, or like any cue that you made for yourself, you will keep that in mind and you will make small improvements every single time you have a conversation with another client. And then you basically build up on those things one by one as you improve. Like these videos are no different. So to give you an idea, as I will be editing this video and cutting a little bit of my heavy breathing out of it or some gaps that I made, I as I'm doing that, I will write down notes. What could have said better? What could have been like more specific? Because I know with myself, I kind of drift off from the main topic and I start talking quite generic. So that's some of the feedback that I give myself recently. Stay more on point, speak about one specific thing. And that's just journaling, giving some like reflection for yourself on the things that you do, and you're constantly taking action and implementing those suggestions that you made for yourself, and that's how you get a little bit more confident. So these are two things combined. So you journal and you give yourself some feedback. And also, I think another key aspect is building up yourself a routine. So, for example, again, with creating these videos, I try to create them on Saturday after I finish my 9:30 a.m. session. Today is a little bit different because now it's Tuesday and I just finished 9:30 a.m. session again. But I made this as a routine. As I finish 9:30 session, I have a gap till I need to go home and I'm doing those videos no matter what. And even if it doesn't come out very well, I will like delete them and will not upload them. But a lot of creators are saying to just upload it anyways. So then 5 years later, you can reflect how shit you were and how much you have improved. So build yourself a consistent routine and do the things that you have self doubt of. And by taking small actions, you will improve. If you're doubting about what to post on social media, you may just post anything that comes onto your mind, whether it's right or wrong. You will get that feedback as you do it. But keeping that consistency and having that routine will help you to overcome the self doubt and the barrier from you doing the thing that you want to versus you thinking about doing the thing, it will be crossed. So you will start taking more action and you will be a little bit more confident about taking those actions. And by taking small, consistent actions, you will notice that your mindset will change dramatically. You will start looking forward to creating that content or opening that business or trying to make sales, because the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more confident you get in the skill, and the less you doubt of your own ability to overcome those barriers. And I think action is the answer to 99% of the self doubt problem. So, taking small, consistent actions and trying to improve yourself on every single time you do something will lead you to eventually becoming fully confident with the things that you do or you want to do. I will leave one more quite powerful tip that I think that applies very well to being on social media. I would say try not to pretend that you're someone that you are not. Try to be yourself, speak the way you do with friends, and embrace that, because there's nothing wrong with your personality. You will find the people that you can inspire, you'll find the people that want to buy the goods and services from you, and your personality will attract other personalities that you want to work with. So don't try to pretend someone who you are not, because everything is fine with you. It just may have been that you haven't encountered the best people in your life to support you with your goals or your ambitions. That doesn't mean that you have to change your personality. That means that you have to embrace your personality and try to improve the things that you're not confident with. Be confident in your own personality, in your own skills, and the self doubt will go away because you're not trying to pretend that it's someone who you are not. If you found this video interesting and beneficial, I'm sure you will find this one beneficial too. And let me know down in the comments what's stopping you from taking action towards your goals, and let me know what your goals are. See you in the next one.